Next step, step 55, is assemble the right middle panel parts over the plans. Well, in here, as you can see, it is assembled but not glued, so it's dry fitted. Everything's dry fitted. So getting this rib here, which will butt against the center panel, the right center panel, there's, because of the excess material down here, you can't actually bring, I mean, it would be logical, you would think, to be able to bring the center panel up and butt it against it and make sure that it's going to mate properly, but this excess here does not allow that. So without this pin in place, I put the ruler, I just held it, I didn't pack it underneath, I just held it in place. Then I was able to put a temporary pin up the front just to make sure it stays there, to keep that straight, and same on the other end. So those ribs, I mean, that's what the marks are for, that's why you draw the lines. But again, I didn't follow instructions, face palm. But anyway, that's done. So now the process will be to go through and glue everything. Just, if you're right-handed, just hold everything down. I mean, even then it was a bit, you know, just hold everything down and make sure it's pressed firmly against the building board when you're gluing. Push down everything, make sure it's all nice and flat on the board before you tap it with the glue. Yeah, it's progressing well. Really happy with the progress so far. All right, we'll be back soon. Moving on to the next level, next step. We've got 55 completed. I wouldn't know it with that pencil though. Let's try this one. There we go. 55 is completed. 56 is to shape the leading edges we did with the center panel, with the middle panel secured to a flat surface, and electrical masking tape applied over the ribs to help avoid sanding into the rib airfoil shape. So I think that's pretty secure. This is a solid brass joiner bar mold, courtesy of Kimson Engineering a couple of decades ago. Piece of rail, and I've secured the front with electrical tape all the way along. What I wanted to actually point out, and this will do, so you might be able to see if I get this in the right light. There we go. There's one. See the little dimple just there in the tape? There's another one there. They're the little tags left over from the laser cutting process that I haven't sanded yet, so remind yourself to make sure you sand all the little tabs off the ribs, so I'll have to do that before the sheeting goes on. Got a little razor plane here that I'll just take most of the pine off, and then I'll hit it with the sanding block. Alright, let's get into it. After working with composites for so long, I really I'd forgotten about the simple pleasures of watching some wood peel off as you plane. Just using the razor plane, it was quite cathartic. So, okay, that's the next one we're up to. Is that was 56 done. 56 is done. Let's have a look at the shape here. So, let me have a look, see if I can bring it in here. So that all worked well. Again, the tape, the idea of the electrical tape is very effective. Very effective, and I just finalised it with the little dots of Nico. As soon as I saw the Nico starting to disappear, I stopped. Yeah, and that's a great way to do it. I highly recommend continuing with reading the instructions. Temporarily tape the upper wing sheet into position. Hold it against the rib surface. Place a mark on either end as shown at the edge of the leading edge strip. So that would be, put the sheeting on and mark the end of the sheeting out here. Alright. So while pursuing this next step, I had noticed that a couple of ribs down this end were just proud of the web. So that actually there is a piece of the rib. There's a piece of the rib that was protruding above the height. But one or two of them here were a little bit high, which would not obviously let the carbon sit down on the web. So I just went through and carefully made sure that all of the ribs matched the web height. Making sure the step is the right way. There we go. Now, so I'll just tape that in place, temporarily tape it in place. Mark it here, mark it there, draw a straight line, trim it off. Okie dokie, so I've completed up to step 65. Step 66 is basically do the right hand panel. Well, I've just done the left. The left panel is now assembled in the same procedure as the right. So this is where I'm at. Pretty darn impressive. I've got to say. Oh, there's, yeah, sorry. Oops, left my L gauge on. So that gauge there is obviously the dihedral gauge. I just taped it to the rib on the underside. It's, you know, duplicatable to the other side. I just prop it underneath the rib and tape it around it. Simple. Don, I don't think that I don't think I'm prepared to alter the leading edge. I don't know that I'm going to be able to gain the extra performance lost, unless you can, you know, advise some other reason why that extra 0.8 of a mil should be replaced. But I just, like, I've already taped over here and shaped, like, it'd be a lot of extra effort. It would have been great for me to have not done it in the first place, but that's where we're at the moment. I screwed up so I can wear it. I think that's it. So we just got to build the other side and glue it to the other half, and we can move on to the outer panels, and then of course the tips. Very good. Over and out.